Question 1. Given the circumstances in a multinational tech company, is Olivera, the SVP of HR, is preparing to align the HR strategy with a newly developed 5-year corporate plan that emphasizes global expansion, innovation, and sustainability. The EO emphasizes aggressive entry into Southeast Asian markets and expects HR to anticipate workforce needs, talent mobility challenges, and culture-specific management practices. To process effectively, what should Olivera do first? A. Conduct a workforce segmentation to classify global talent pools based on current skills and roles. B. Perform a SWOT analysis specifically tailored to HR capabilities aligned with the corporate plan. C. Benchmark compensation and benefits packages in target countries to ensure competitiveness. D. Develop a communications plan for HR initiatives tied to the new corporate direction. Answer. Correct answer. B. Perform a SWOT analysis specifically tailored to HR capabilities aligned with the corporate plan. Explanation. A SWOT analysis allows HR leaders to evaluate internal strengths and weaknesses, as well as external opportunities and threats, aligning HR initiatives with organizational goals. According to HRCI's body of knowledge, strategic HR planning must begin with internal analysis to identify whether HR has capability to support broader strategic shifts. While workforce segmentation and benchmarking C are important, they are tactical next steps. Communication planning D is critical but comes after strategic alignment. This approach supports SLMAP HRCI principles of aligning HR strategy with business strategy. Question 2. In what ways can HR leaders design a resilient recruitment strategy during a time of high industry volatility, especially in the context of a biotech startup undergoing rapid growth and VC funding pressure? A. Emphasize internal promotions and job rotations to reduce hiring risk. B. Build a contingent talent pool focused on short-term project needs. C. Freeze hiring until the market stabilizes to avoid premature expansion. D. Focus solely on AI-based screening to reduce recruitment costs. Answer. Correct answer. B. Build a contingent talent pool focused on short-term project needs. Explanation. A contingent workforce offers flexibility during uncertainty, allowing organizations to scale talent up or down according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and HR exam prep guidelines. Strategic workforce flexibility is essential in dynamic industries. Internal promotions may not fill gaps quickly enough. Freezing hiring C contradicts the growth agenda and sole reliance on AI. D can create bias and compliance issues under HRConquer guidance. Question 3. As illustrated by Tanaka, an HR director, a global logistics firm who is leading a digital transformation project affecting 15,000 employees worldwide. The workforce is resistant, citing fear of job displacement and loss of human interaction. Tanaka decides to apply Kotter's 8-step change model. After creating urgency and forming a guiding coalition, what should be the next strategic step? A. Empower broad-based action by removing obstacles to change. B. Anchor the new changes into the organizational culture. C. Communicate the vision for buy-in consistently across regions. D. Celebrate early wins with incentives and team recognition. Answer. Correct answer. C. Communicate the vision for buying consistently across regions. Explanation. In Kotter's model, Step 3 emphasizes communication of the vision to gain alignment and mitigate resistance. This is foundational before removing obstacles A, or anchoring change B, which occur later. Early wins D are Step 6. Clear, repeated messaging supports change readiness, cross-guided car model, and aligns with the HRCI expectation that HR facilitates enterprise-wide transformation through structured methodologies. Question 4. By evaluating compensation data across competitor firms in the same geographic market, Sharma notices that her company's incentive compensation structure is misaligned with market practices. Executives are leaving for firms offering more balanced short and long-term incentives. What should Sharma prioritize to retain talent competitively? Offer higher base salaries to offset the incentive disparity. B. Revise the total rewards strategy to better align with business goals and employee motivation. C. Introduce job rotation to provide greater internal career mobility. D. Focus on non-monetary benefits like recognition and remote work. Answer. Correct answer. B. Revise the total rewards strategy to better align with business goals and employee motivation. Explanation of PHR guidelines emphasize the integration of total rewards into the overall business strategy. This includes direct compensation, indirect compensation, and recognition programs. Compensation must not only match market standards, but also support employee engagement and organizational performance. Base salary adjustments, they might help. They don't address the incentive design for non-monetary benefits. D alone cannot retain senior talent in high-demand roles. Question 5. From a practical standpoint, what is the role of HR in maintaining corporate governance within a publicly traded organization, especially during a corporate audit? A. Ensuring that hiring practices comply with EO guidelines. B. Managing employee grievances using the internal conflict resolution policy. C. Supporting the board in documenting executive compensation policies and compliance disclosures. D. Designing employee wellness programs to align with company mission. Answer. Correct answer. C. Supporting the board in documenting executive compensation policies and compliance disclosures. Explanation. In corporate governance, HR plays a strategic advisory role, particularly around executive compensation, disclosures under the sex pay ratio rule, Dodd-Frank Act, and ethics compliance. While EO compliance is necessary, it's tactical. HR's role in audits expands beyond daily employee issues, BD, and involves high-level transparency, accountability, and risk oversight. This is part of fiduciary duties that APHR-level professionals are expected to influence. Question 6. To illustrate this point, Green, the Crove, a manufacturing firm, realizes that 60% of the senior leadership team will reach retirement age within 5 years. The company lacks a formal succession plan and has high dependency on institutional knowledge. What steps should Green prioritize to mitigate long-term risk? A. Start recruiting externally for all anticipated leadership gaps. B. Launch a company-wide mentoring program to develop mid-level managers. C. Conduct a leadership capability audit and talent risk assessment. D. Implement job shadowing for key technical roles only. Answer. Correct answer. C. Conduct a leadership capability audit and talent risk assessment. Explanation. Before developing internal pipelines or recruiting externally, it's crucial to understand the gaps. Talent risk assessment identifies vulnerabilities in critical roles, while capability audit reveals who is prepared to step up. This aligns with HRM best practices for data-driven succession planning. Mentoring. B is strategy, but not first step external hiring. A should complement, not replace, internal development. Question 7. Among the various metrics available, which would best help an HR executive evaluate the effectiveness of a recent day initiative intended to improve managerial diversity in technical departments? A. Average time to fill for leadership roles. B. Internal promotion rates of underrepresented groups. C. Turnover rate of non-managerial employees. D. Overall employee satisfaction scores. Answer. Correct answer. B. Internal promotion rates of underrepresented groups. Explanation. Promotion rates reflect upward mobility and inclusion effectiveness, particularly in historically underrepresented populations. AHR standards emphasize using meaningful metrics tied to outcomes, not just participation. Time to fill. A. And turnover. C. Don't measure diversity impact directly. Satisfaction surveys. D. May miss disparities in advance, making B. the most targeted indicator aligned with day objectives. Question 8. Through careful analysis of a recent internal report, the HR business partner Idris discovers that a high-performing manager has manipulated timekeeping data to inflate team productivity metrics for performance bonuses. What is the most ethical and strategic HR response? A. Quietly issue a warning and correct the data to avoid escalating the issue. B. Refer the incident to the legal department and initiate an internal ethics investigation. C. Reassign the manager to a non-incentive team pending further performance review. D. Delay action until the performance cycle concludes. Answer. Correct answer. B. Refer the incident to the legal department and initiate an internal ethics investigation. Explanation. This case involves fraud and ethical breach. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act HRCI standards require HR to uphold integrity, especially in incentive-linked reporting. Ignoring or delaying AD undermines credibility and risk. Controls, reassignment, C. Sidesteps due process. HR must engage legal and follow documented procedures for ethics violations, reinforcing the company's code of conduct and whistleblower protections. Question 9. The correlation between centralization and organizational agility is often debated. In the context of a mid-sized healthcare provider expanding into telehealth, which organizational design strategy best supports both standardization and regional responsiveness? A. Fully centralized decision-making to enforce consistent care protocols. B. A matrix structure combining function and geography to balance consistency with agility. C. A flat structure to encourage rapid decision-making at all levels. D. Outsourcing all non-clinical functions to streamline operations. Answer. Correct answer. B. A matrix structure combining function and geography to balance consistency with agility. Explanation. A matrix structure provides the benefits of functional control, e.g., compliance in healthcare, and local responsiveness, e.g., adapting to regional patient needs according to EHR standards and the Galbraith star model. It's suited for complex multidimensional needs like those in telehealth. Centralization, A. Be too rigid. Flat structures, C. Reduce hierarchy but risk inconsistency. Outsourcing, D. Helps cost but not agility. Question 10. The impact DDR-DPA has significantly influenced HR data handling. What is a key compliance responsibility of HR when managing employee data in a global HRCI? Encrypting compensation records only in the payroll module. B. Ensuring that employees can access and request deletion of their personal data. C. Allowing unrestricted sharing of employee profiles across departments. D. Archiving all records indefinitely for legal traceability. Answer. Correct answer. B. Ensuring that employees can access and request deletion of their personal data. Explanation. GDPR-DPA mandate that individuals have the right to access, correct, and delete their data. Right to be forgotten. HR candidates must understand compliance obligations beyond US borders. Encryption, A. Is important but not sufficient. Unrestricted sharing, C. And indefinite archiving, D. Violate privacy principles. HR must ensure data governance policies respect international regulations. Question 11. Taking into account the demographic shift within the organization, Ispatal VP of HR, a national insurance firm, recognizes that over 40% of the workforce will reach retirement age in the next 7 years. Meanwhile, critical skill gaps in digital underwriting and data analytics persist, limiting the company's ability to scale AI initiatives. Which strategic action should Ispatal take first? A. Implement early retirement packages to expedite transition planning. B. Initiate predictive modeling to forecast future workforce needs and skill gaps. C. Begin recruiting tech-savvy talent through university partnerships. D. Offer retention bonuses to delay retirements and maintain institutional knowledge. Answer. Correct answer. B. Initiate predictive modeling to forecast future workforce needs and skill gaps. Explanation. Workforce planning must be data-driven to anticipate future talent requirements. Predictive modeling enables HR to make strategic hiring, development, and retention decisions aligned with business priorities. This aligns with SPHR standards, HRCI guidance on workforce analytics. Premature retirement packages, A. Deepen skill gaps. Retention bonuses, D. Are reactive. Recruitment, C. Should follow data-backed planning. Question 12. To better understand the gaps in succession readiness, Carter, head of talent strategy, is conducting a 9-box grid evaluation across all high-potential employees. The analysis shows that many individuals score high on performance but low on potential. What should Carter do next to strengthen leadership development? A. Reassign high-performing individuals to stretch roles with leadership exposure. B. Launch a company-wide mandatory leadership training course. C. Focus development budgets exclusively on external executive hires. D. Use the grid to promote all employees with high performance scores. Answer. Correct answer A. Reassign high-performing individuals to stretch roles with leadership exposure. Explanation. The 9-box grid is a widely used tool in succession planning. High performance with low potential may reflect a lack of exposure to leadership challenges. Stretch roles are effective in developing future leaders consistent with HRCI guidance on experiential learning and talent mobility. Mandated training B. Ignores individual readiness. Promoting based solely on performance. D. Undermines leadership capability development. Question 13. With the advent of a new Global Day initiative, is Liu, director of HR at an aerospace firm, must evaluate the effectiveness of inclusion efforts across multicultural teams in 3 continents. Which approach best enables strategic measurement of inclusion? A. Measuring the percentage of diverse hires made quarterly. B. Reviewing pay equity gaps between demographic groups. C. Analyzing psychological safety survey results across teams. D. Counting the number of day training sessions completed. Answer. Correct answer C. Analyzing psychological safety survey results across teams. Explanation. Inclusion goes beyond demographics and is about creating a culture where employees feel valued and heard. Psychological safety is a core measure of inclusion as supported by research from Google's Project Aristotle and best practices recommended by HRCI. Metrics like hiring data A, pay equity B, and training frequency D are important, but capture actual employee experience or inclusive behavior. Question 14. Examining the consequences of a recent merger, Mr. Dubois, the Chief People Officer, is struggling to unify 2 drastically different organizational cultures. One firm emphasizes hierarchy and tradition, while the other promotes autonomy and innovation. What intervention is most appropriate at this stage? A. Develop a hybrid structure that selectively merges both cultural elements. B. Immediately enforce the dominant company's cultural values across all divisions. C. Focus solely on harmonizing HR systems and policies to achieve integration. D. Delay integration planning to allow the dust to settle post-merger. Answer. Correct answer A. Develop a hybrid structure that selectively merges both cultural elements. Explanation. A hybrid cultural model recognizes and integrates strengths from both organizations, which is critical for engagement and productivity post-merger. The HR guidelines emphasize the importance of cultural due diligence and adaptability in OD. Enforcing one culture B causes resistance. Focusing only on systems C ignores the human side of change. Delays D create uncertainty and misalignment. Question 15. The most significant aspect of executive coaching is not skill development but behavior transformation. What is the primary purpose of structured executive coaching for senior leaders? A. To ensure compliance with performance improvement plans. B. To provide a confidential space for personal reflection and strategic alignment. C. To teach technical skills relevant to their departments. D. To improve attendance and punctuality in leadership teams. Answer. Correct answer B. To provide a confidential space for personal reflection and strategic alignment. Explanation. Executive coaching is developmental, not remedial, and focuses on enhancing leadership effectiveness, self-awareness, and strategic impact. According to the International Coaching Federation, HR competencies, coaching helps senior leaders align their personal leadership style with organizational goals. Technical training C and compliance issues A, D are not the core purpose of coaching. Question 16. In light of recent developments, a global HR transformation initiative requires full-scale digitization of onboarding, learning, and benefits administration. Is the transformation lead wants to avoid implementation failure due to user resistance. What is her best initial step? A. Partner with it to select a cloud-based solution before notifying users. B. Identify and engage change champions from across business units. C. Mandate system training for all HR users. D. Focus on cost-benefit analysis to justify implementation to senior leadership. Answer. Correct answer B. Identify and engage change champions from across business units. Explanation. Successful digital transformation depends on user adoption, which is influenced by peer credibility and engagement. Change champions help spread enthusiasm, identify resistance early, and foster acceptance. Core concepts in change management models e.g. IDCAR training C is necessary later. Choosing software A. Engaging users leads to poor fit. Cost-benefit analysis D alone does not address adoption. Question 17. Under the assumption that a formal complaint has been lodged regarding discriminatory comments made by a supervisor during a team meeting, how should the HR department proceed according to EOC best practices? A. Conduct an informal meeting with the supervisor to resolve the issue quietly. B. Launch a formal investigation using a documented, impartial process. C. Notify all team members of the complaint to encourage open dialogue. D. Temporarily reassign the supervisor to another team until the matter is resolved. Answer. Correct answer. B. Launch a formal investigation using a documented, impartial process. Explanation. The EOC HRCI stressed the importance of impartial, timely, and well-documented investigations to ensure legal compliance and ethical integrity. Informal handling may violate compliance obligations. Broad disclosure C. Breaches confidentiality. Reassignment D. Without cause may be premature or seen as retaliatory. Objective process protects both the employee and the organization. Question 18. When analyzing why turnover among mid-career professionals has spiked by 18% over the past year, is Klein, Director of People Analytics, finds no clear link to compensation. What is the most strategic next step to assess root causes? A. Launch a company-wide anonymous state interview campaign. B. Increase remote work options across all departments. C. Offer exit bonuses to capture feedback from departing employees. D. Provide management with general employee motivation training. Answer. Correct answer A. Launch a company-wide anonymous state interview campaign. Explanation. State interviews uncover what keeps employees engaged and what might drive them to leave, especially when traditional analytics don't reveal compensation as factor. According to Gallup and HRCI best practices, proactive retention strategies must be informed by direct feedback. Remote work B. may not address the real issue. Exit bonuses C. are reactive. Generic training D. may lack focus. Question 19. While examining the effectiveness of the current benefits plan, Ista Nwasu, the Total Rewards Manager, notices low enrollment in the employer-sponsored wellness program, despite rising claims for chronic illnesses. What should be his first step? A. Redesign the wellness program with better incentives and targeted support. B. Make participation mandatory for employees with high health claims. C. Eliminate the wellness program and reallocate funds to premiums. D. Launch disciplinary actions for those who ignore wellness initiatives. Answer. Correct answer A. Redesign the wellness program with better incentives and targeted support. Explanation. Wellness programs must be aligned with employee needs, offering relevant, accessible, and incentivized services. The Affordable Care Act allows wellness incentives if they are voluntary and non-discriminatory, making it mandatory B or punitive. D risks violating HIPAA and EOC guidelines. Eliminating the program C forfeits long-term control opportunities. Question 20. As evidenced by exit interviews and internal feedback, many high-potential employees feel there are no clear growth paths within the organization. What should HR prioritize to address this issue strategically? A. Develop and communicate formal career pathways linked to competencies and roles. B. Require managers to promote at least one team member every fiscal year. C. Shift focus to external hiring to bring in more advanced talent. D. Limit career discussions to annual performance reviews. Answer. Correct answer A. Develop and communicate formal career pathways linked to competencies and roles. Explanation. Clear career paths promote internal mobility, engagement, and retention. According to HR guidance and BUSIN by Deloitte Research, strategic career frameworks help individuals see how they can grow, enhancing loyalty and performance. Forced promotions B. undermine merit-based growth, relying on external hires C. increases and attrition. Limiting career conversations D. ignores continuous development needs. Question 21. From the perspective of a retail chain experiencing increasing cybersecurity threats, Istavasco's HR director is tasked with integrating human risk management into the company's overall risk mitigation strategy. What should be his primary focus to reduce insider risk? A. Implement regular cybersecurity training and phishing simulations for all employees. B. Restrict access to customer data to the IT department only. C. Outsource all sensitive HR data management to third-party vendor. D. Establish disciplinary policy for violations of data policies. Answer. Correct answer A. Implement regular cybersecurity training and phishing simulations for all employees. Explanation. Employee behavior is the front-line defense against insider threat. EHR guidelines and NIST frameworks emphasize ongoing training to reduce human error and raise awareness. Restricting access, B, is important but not sufficient alone. Outsourcing, C, adds third-party risk. Discipline, D, is reactive and less effective than proactive education. Question 22. During the process of hiring for a senior financial analyst role, Morgan notices unconscious bias creeping into interview evaluations. What is the most effective way to minimize bias and ensure fair selection? A. Use structured interviews with standardized questions and scoring rubrics. B. Allow interviewers to freely explore candidates' backgrounds to gain deeper insight. C. Let the hiring manager make the final decision without panel input. D. Prioritize candidates recommended by current employees. Answer. Correct answer A. Use structured interviews with standardized questions and scoring rubrics. Explanation. Structured interviews reduce bias by ensuring consistent evaluation criteria. HRCI and EOC. Guidance promote fairness and objectivity in selection. Unstructured interviews. B. Increase subjectivity. Sole decision-making. C. Lacks checks and balances. Over-reliance on employee referrals. D. Can limit diversity. Question 23. Considering the evidence a unionized manufacturing facility faces a sudden spike in grievances related to safety equipment shortages, Mr. Lopez, the labor relations manager, wants to address the root cause effectively. What should be his first step? A. Meet with union representatives to discuss concerns and gather feedback. B. Issue a memo reminding employees of the proper use of safety equipment. C. Enforce disciplinary actions for misuse of equipment. D. Immediately order new safety supplies without consultation. Answer. Correct answer A. Meet with union representatives to discuss concerns and gather feedback. Explanation. Effective labor relations involve collaborative problem solving with union reps. This approach fosters trust and avoids escalating disputes. Reminders. B. And disciplinary actions. C. Do not resolve supply issues. Ordering supplies. D. Is important but must be informed by frontline feedback to ensure adequacy. Question 24. Based on the information that employee turnover is highest among entry-level roles in a hospitality company, an exit interview cite low wages and poor benefits as primary causes, how should HR revise the total rewards strategy? A. Increase base wages and enhance benefits targeted at entry-level employees. B. Implement a uniform total rewards program across all employee levels. C. Introduce a company-wide performance bonus to all employees. D. Focus on improving non-monetary recognition programs only. Answer. Correct answer A. Increase base wages and enhance benefits targeted at entry-level employees. Explanation. Targeting rewards based on employee segment needs is essential. Entry-level employees are more sensitive to base pay and essential benefits. Uniform programs. B. Risk being ineffective. Bonuses. C. May not address base pay dissatisfaction. Non-monetary recognition. D. Complements but does not replace adequate compensation as per HR total rewards principles. Question 25. When faced with a natural disaster impacting corporate offices in a major metro area, what is the most critical role HR should play to ensure business continuity? A. Provide timely communication to employees regarding safety and operational status. B. Resume payroll processing as soon as possible regardless of office closure. C. Initiate layoffs to reduce payroll costs during business disruption. D. Limit employee access to remote work tools to maintain security. Answer. Correct answer A. Provide timely communication to employees regarding safety and operational status. Explanation. Effective crisis communication is vital for employee safety and morale. HR acts as a primary communicator and support resource during disruptions. Payroll B is important but secondary. Layoffs C during disaster response can damage trust. Limiting remote access D contradicts continuity needs. This aligns with SPHR HRCI crisis management frameworks. Question 26. Throughout the course of designing, a leadership development program for mid-level managers is new and applies adult learning theory. Which approach best reflects andragogical principles? A. Delivering content through interactive problem-solving case studies related to managers' daily work. B. Conducting lecture-style presentations with extensive theoretical background. C. Assigning mandatory online modules without facilitator interaction. D. Using annual standardized testing to measure knowledge retention. Answer. Correct answer A. Delivering content through interactive problem-solving case studies related to managers' daily work. Explanation. Adult learning theory, Knowles andragogy emphasizes self-directed, experience-based, and problem-centered learning relevant to real-life contexts. Lectures. B. Passive learning. C. And standardized tests. D. Do not fully engage adult learners or support retention. HRCI and LD. Best practices. Question 27. When analyzing the merits of using contingent labor to support a seasonal peak, Ahmed must weigh risks and benefits. What is a significant risk associated with relying heavily on contingent workers? A. Increased operational flexibility. B. Potential for inconsistent organizational culture and loyalty. C. Reduced payroll costs during off-peak periods. D. Faster onboarding and training cycles. Answer. Correct answer. B. Potential for inconsistent organizational culture and loyalty. Explanation. While contingent labor offers flexibility, the downside includes weaker cultural integration and lower employee commitment, impacting quality and engagement, as noted in a PHR literature. Cost savings. C. And faster onboarding. D. Benefits, not risks. Question 20. In contrast to popular belief, Singh believes his organization can freely share employee disciplinary records within the company. What legal principle limits internal sharing of such sensitive HR data? A. The Fair Labor Standards Act (FLSA). B. The General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) and data privacy laws requiring limited access and purpose. C. The Occupational Safety and Health Act (OSHA). D. The Equal Pay Act (EPA). Answer. Correct answer. B. The General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) and data privacy laws requiring limited access and purpose. Explanation. GDPR and similar laws, but EOPA mandate that personal employee data, especially disciplinary records, be accessed only on a need-to-know basis to protect privacy. FLSA, OSHA, C, and EPA, D. Address wages, safety, and pay equity, not data privacy, highlighting the importance of understanding privacy laws in HR management. Question 29. Demonstrated by the successful alignment of HR initiatives at Technova Corp, how should HR ensure that the company's mission and values are embedded in everyday employee behavior? A. Incorporate values into performance management and reward systems. B. Share the mission statement only during onboarding sessions. C. Limit values communication to leadership meetings. D. Use mission statements solely in external branding materials. Answer. Correct answer. A. Incorporate values into performance management and reward systems. Explanation. Embedding values in performance and rewards reinforces desired behaviors and organizational culture. HRCI HRM emphasize integrating values at all organizational levels to promote authenticity and alignment. Limiting communication. B. C. D. Misses opportunities to influence employee engagement consistently. Question 30. Several experts suggest that a poorly managed offboarding process can damage the employer brand and create legal risk. Is Johnson, HR Director, wants to mitigate these risks? What practice should be part of a robust offboarding strategy? A. Conduct exit interviews to capture actionable feedback. B. Immediately deactivate all employee access upon resignation notification. C. Avoid discussion of reasons for departure to reduce discomfort. D. Delay final pay until all equipment is returned. Answer. Correct answer A. Conduct exit interviews to capture actionable feedback. Explanation. Exit interviews provide insights for continuous improvement and help protect the employer brand. According to HRCI best practices, transparent and respectful offboarding reduces risk. Immediate access deactivation. B. Should be coordinated but not abrupt. Avoiding departure discussions. C. Misses valuable data. Delaying pay. D. Risks non-compliance with wage laws.